And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym in the Crypto, episode 577. Today is Tuesday, July 14th, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
10-ish, and today's top stories, not a lot of stories today, but the U.S. regulators take joint action against crypto firms' swap offerings. Texas man allegedly used $1.1 million in COVID-19 relief funds to buy crypto. 2 OneCoin promoters found dead in Mexico. And last but surely not least, Binance's swipe-powered crypto debit card debuts in Europe. But first and foremost, what's going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So seeing a lot of red across the board. Bitcoin holding at $9,236, down 0.7%. Ethereum at $240, only down 1%. Ripple somehow at 19 cents, still down 2.5%. One of the biggest winners, we don't talk about often, Chainlink went kind of crazy the last few days.
How did that happen?
It seems as though there's a big push for it in price wise, and it's not correlated with Bitcoin. So you may have some outside investors who are looking towards cryptos like Chainlink, which is $787, up 5%. May see more investment there. Also, Bitcoin Cash at $229.70 is down 2.5%. And last but not least, Litecoin at $43 is down 2% as well. So we're seeing basically red across the board except for the stable coins and Chainlink. Chainlink is sort of the big winner the last few days. And I think the beginning of alt season is when things start pumping one at a time and then all of a sudden all at once. But at the same time, don't get too excited because there are a lot of coins that have lost 90% of their value. So 10%, 15% gain isn't too much to get excited about.
Right. It's actually interesting Chainlink sneak in there, but also Bitcoin price, saw that drop down to about 8,800 at some points yesterday, depending on what exchange you were at. Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, I realized yesterday there was a lot of exchanges and a lot of two-factor authentications I had to kind of like redo. I got a new phone, and I realized a lot of these exchanges I haven't been using anymore. Some of them, when I logged back on, the first thing it was saying is I just logged on from a US IP address to see what happened. It was just like freezing accounts as I logged on to it. It was hilarious. I was like, oh yeah, delete, delete these all the way through. But the watchful eye is definitely there, people, for these crypto accounts. What's going on, Leroy Forbes, A. Kent, Gladden TV, Sergeant Crypto, Dexter Hand Sr.? What's going on, everybody?
What's good?
All right, U.S. regulators take joint action against crypto firm swaps offering. Looks like 2 related cryptocurrency firms have fallen foul of U.S. financial regulators for entering into illegal off-exchange swaps in digital assets and foreign currency. Before we get started on this story, we were just talking about, I saw another story, I think on CoinDesk or Cointelegraph, talking about, it was an opinion piece saying what happened to STOs. You remember everybody was supposed to be doing STO crazy. The regulators wanted to come in and take over the ICO market, except they took it over when it was a bear market, and then, we forgot all about STOs, right? So now here is another extortion case. What are the U.S. regulators doing in this instance, I guess?
Oh, man. Well, 2 respondents, it says here they operate from Manila in the Philippines and in Mountain View, California. So the parent company is Plutus Technologies Philippines Corporation, and the other company is Plutus Financial, or Abra. And it states that Abra is a private company headquartered in California,
going after big
that
fish.
Offers a phone application allowing people to conduct financial transactions through contracts memorialized on the Bitcoin blockchain. And according to the SEC, yes, they're in big trouble because they enable users to enter into financial transactions with Plutus as the counterparty. Unfortunately for them, the SEC needs their money, and I don't think they were giving it to them because, from what I remember, Abra, they basically have free transactions.
Some fees was low for a reason. We kept saying something was up. There's a reason why you can't have it.
Yeah, and they said that these contracts had synthetic exposure to the price movement of U.S. stocks and exchange-traded funds. Of course, they said they had these conversations a couple years ago. Abra, they said that they ceased doing it in 2019, but at the same time, the SEC needs their money. So according to that, investor solicitation, marketing, hedging, and all that were done by the California team. So that's what they're accused of by the SEC and the CFTC. So not too bad. They're only looking at $150,000 civil penalty together as both companies, which is nothing. They probably make that a day. But it's just the fact that these 2 companies or 2 regulators are coming down on them after years of Abra being just fine. So who knows, man? I feel like it's something more at play here.
When I see 150,000, this random attack on Abra, What I see is it's just an old account. Nobody's gonna miss it. Just an old account. I see lines off training day. All right, just trying to explain to the police team like just old. Nobody's gonna miss these guys. All right, it's some mid-level person working at the SEC. There was some oversight. We know the chairman been coming and going, and they've been switching positions. There was some oversight somewhere, and someone saw that file and was like, "Hey man, nobody hit eyebrow, right? Oh man, this is an old account. They're not gonna miss 150K. They're gonna pay that up real quick, and everybody gonna go about their business." And it looks like that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah.
This is extortion at its finest. Again, Abra. I mean, we're using taxpayer money, especially in times like right now, COVID times. Everybody's talking about where they want to defund the police now. All this stuff going on with police in America. Instead of focusing our attention that we're using our taxpayer money to go after a company like Abra that's been pretty transparent to me. When it comes to how they deal with their business. So, again, waste, fraud, and abuse on that end. And it kind of goes along with the interview we had that we posted yesterday that we did on Friday with Brock Pierce. You know, Brock Pierce, child actor, Bitcoin billionaire, running for president now. This is some of the things he were talking about. We asked him about the Huey Act or the Huey test and how the old 1800s or whatever 1920s test for securities is still around.
So outdated.
For crypto. And he agreed also like, hey, if he wins or once he runs for president, if he wins, he wants to implement technology and look at some of these old laws. And this is an example of that, where some of these laws need to have an expiration date. We have things like the Howey test, and we have the SEC just literally, what we say all the time, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays just coming up with something new. So
it's random, yeah.
We see it here.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but at the same time, not surprised. They need their little payoff every now and then. This is their they gave themselves a stimulus check.
Basically,
let's get a quick 150 real quick.
Hey, like I said, nobody's gonna miss them, right?
Yeah. Especially both companies paying it together. Come on, 150 is nothing.
That's and again, this is what the SEC lawyers were also telling them too, which is hilarious. They're in the same room telling them the same things we're telling you. Come on, guys, it's 150. You really want to go to war with us? Like, just cough it up. All right, that was a crazy story. A couple quick shout outs. Sergeant Crypto said an extortion case. That's right. Tony Morissette, what's going on? Cryptonomics, hello.
What's up?
Stan Wilson Jr., thanks for subscribing. Sid Owsley, what's up? Yes. So it looks like Texas man allegedly used $1.1 million in COVID-19 relief funds to buy crypto. The Cointelegraph photo is hilarious on this with the wolf in sheep's clothing. I can't say I'm surprised. We've seen people use all types of funds to redirect the crypto. What's going on with this one? How did they manage to pull this off?
Oh, man. So a 29-year-old Texas man, as they say here on Coin, this is in A1 trouble after being charged with siphoning nearly $1 million from the Payment Protection Plan loan program and actually using it to buy cryptocurrency. He received a $956,000 loan, this guy Joshua Argyres, and it was for Texas barbecue. And then, like an idiot, he transferred it to a Coinbase account.
Same account pays it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. By investing in crypto, according to a criminal complaint that was unsealed Monday in a U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Texas. It didn't disclose the size of the alleged profit or which cryptocurrencies were traded. So he could have made profit, he could have lost it, but
he might have lost his money, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He put it into a place where, in my opinion, I mean, the oversight is ridiculous. He might as well put it into a bank. So when he got those loans, he didn't have any employees. He said he didn't really manage that aspect of the business.
White collar gang.
Yeah. Like, if you want to get away with something like this, do not put your crypto in Coinbase and then try to sell. Like,
he really put it in Coinbase?
Put it in Coinbase.
Oh,
so
he doesn't watch us, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely don't watch us. And it's such a large amount of money, you're going to raise red flags no matter where you put it.
The money's still in the account as of June 30th.
Why couldn't you just take it and then just keep it?
At least that's what officials say, right?
Exactly.
Wink, wink. They're like, yeah, it's still in there. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
We haven't touched a Satoshi of it.
We're going to confiscate.
Right.
But yeah, it's the charges against him making false statements, wire fraud, bank fraud, and engaging in prohibited monetary transfers. So, yeah, 1.1 million in those loans. That's what's crazy is, he's a small fish compared to the millions of dollars these big companies are getting. And they're not doing what they say they do. Oh, yeah, we are too big to fail. We're going to make sure our employees...
Rude Chris trying to get the $20 million back.
Yeah. And
you don't unwrap the package. What you trying to give it back for?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell is it? And then I saw this dude right here. Of course, he got to pay the price because it's kind of dumb. But at the same time, when you weigh it on the scale of how big things are with these payment program protection programs, I'm sure there's way more money being used for more nefarious.
Yeah. I mean, this is
way
just
more nefarious
like you said,
things.
small drop in the bucket. But I mean, it should be noted. We're talking about crypto. We're talking about extortion, the government coming after people. This clearly was not a case of that. But for the criminals out there, if the SEC is going after Abra, who has money backing in the infrastructure network to withstand a government attack, if they're going after Abra for $150K, you better believe Texas Barbecue, we're gonna come get you for that $1.1 million. All right,
come on. we gotta come get you. Come on, Texas man.
Hey, now I know, right? I give you props. I know you're thinking Texas man. You're like, this is Texas. Ain't nobody coming to get me unless they got a gun.
Yeah, but too bad you got on Coinbase.
Right, yeah. Too bad the U.S. government has a lot of guns. They actually do want their money back. They came in there like Nikki Santorini out casino. They listened to you tell them about where you put the money, what happened to your employees, and all they looked at you and said was, yeah, I think I want my money.
Yeah.
I want my money. So looks like the U.S. is definitely doing that flex in this case. It's the right thing to do. Again, it's unfortunate. You see this a lot. A 29-year-old come in this space, try to make a quick buck. Again, novel idea. I'm not even mad at him because the worst case scenario from when I'm looking at this, if you had a 1.1 million, as long as you can give a good heap of that back. Yeah. I don't see any real prison time, maybe a fine or something like that. Yeah, especially when we talk about some of these other criminals we've been seeing get away with literal murder, which we'll talk about next here. Looks like 2 OneCoin promoters have been found dead in Mexico. As we just said, this is why we don't want our taxpayer money going on some things and to go toward others. It looks like 2 promoters of $4 billion crypto exit scam OneCoin have been found dead in Mexico. If you are down there stealing from Mexicans and you're going back to hang out like it's all cool and you don't think nobody's connected to nobody, oh man, that wasn't a good move.
Yeah, not at all.
It looks like 2 promoters of major cryptocurrency exit scam OneCoin have been found dead in Mazatlan, Mexico. I cannot say that.
Yeah,
Mazatlan, man, that sounds about right. Oscar Brito Ibarra and Ignacio Ibarra, 2 major OneCoin promoters, were apparently kidnapped and killed in Mexico. Cointelegraph and Espanol reported on Tuesday. According to the report, the 2 men were promoting OneCoin as a payment method for a local car firm, the Latin American automotive marketing company. Wow, this makes me think I wonder if they even knew if it was a scam, or were they actually thinking like, hey, this is no, we can use this to pay for your car repairs here. Everything's all good. I wonder.
Yeah, well, actually, at this point, they should have known. I mean, as much as has been made about OneCoin, I think they were trying to either receive payments in some way or trying to, promote it in another way. But maybe they ran up on and they were old promoters that somebody remembered them and was like, hey, you told me about OneCoin, I lost all my money.
Right.
And somebody showed up and did what they do. So, of course, this news isn't good to hear. However, you must be vigilant. And, of course, you don't want to promote scams in any way, because I'm sure there's people still looking for the Mountain Gox people, still looking for some other OneCoin people, BitConnect people. They're like, all right.
I mean, $4 billion. That you took the type of money that that make people jump off of buildings in New York City. So some people not gonna jump off that building. They're just gonna come holler
and stuff you in a suitcase.
Stuff you in a suitcase. Looks like. I mean, it's crazy to see these stories, but we have to keep talking about them because this is a part of crypto. I mean, we talk about how crypto is the Wild West. This is the example of the Wild West. People stealing $4 billion. And again, I highly doubt this is, who would think this is just some random act, right? You don't steal $4 billion, then you and your brother or your family member get found killed, and it's just like, just happened to be in the wrong place, wrong time. It's like, I'm pretty sure people knew something. Maybe not that you stole it, maybe that you were just the big money people in town. Regardless, that universe karma came back around. So hopefully, again, they can figure out what happened with this story. Was this tied to OneCoin or was this something completely separate? Either way it goes, it's quite unfortunate. And again, just craziness in the crypto community, people.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a great movie one day.
Right? Oh, my goodness. There's going to be so much going on. Sergeant Crypto said they need to find the Bitcoin guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I'm sure they're definitely hiding a lot of them. I haven't seen them anywhere.
S1 Dub said, yeah, that's what you want to do. Let's go into cartel country and hawk these coins. Exactly. I hope that's not what, and exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I hope they weren't trying to launder the dirty crypto back in Mexico. not the place to do it. I mean, it makes sense. I get it. Cash heavy. They need to liquidate. Everybody been talking about how one of the problems with the COVID-19 is that cartels actually can't get their money back to them. So this actually could have been one of the plays where it was like, yeah, I can give you some of this OneCoin. You give me your cash. And then, cartel member just random one day here on the toilet. Yeah. He look at his cell phone, Google OneCoin. He like, they got me. Like, I don't know. It's
he's scamming. Yeah.
Looks like A. Kent said, I see Craig Grant is starting to make more YouTube videos. He's popping out of the shadows. Hey, I did not know that.
I'm glad you said that because that is a perfect lesson for those of you who came in like
and we
2017.
That 2 years they'd be back.
I tell people that all the time. I was like, I've been here long enough to see people be scammers, come back, and then the new people don't know about them, so they watch all this stuff. Ian Bellina, and then later everybody forgets, and then they're like, oh yeah, he's fine, isn't he? And you're like, I don't forget stuff. Right. I don't forget anything. I've been here way too long, and if Craig Grant's back at it, whatever. More power to him. I know Bitcoin Trade's back at it.
That means whatever. We are officially in a bull market.
We're in a bull market when they start coming back.
It's about ring the bell. It's about to begin.
Oh yeah.
Hey, bull market. Listen. Trevon James, he didn't stop. He just slowed down. Look, he should have took us up on the offer. He should have came and hollered at us. We could have set him straight. But hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's funny. We said that 2018. We kept saying that from some of the people we saw in 2016, 2017. It's like they're scammers. They're hustlers. They take a year and a half, 2 years off, spend some of that money, and they come back out, new video, new product, new whatever.
Yeah.
And the worst part is I give them credit. It's like I give them credit in the sense that they can attract a bigger following than us with their scams. It's amazing. I mean, I guess we need to sell the too good to be true juice over here.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say stupidity attracts people like moths.
There it is.
For some reason, but they be ready.
You already know. Let's see. A. Kent said, has anyone not come up with a way to regulate commerce between ourselves in regards to regulators? It seems to me that we spend more time trying to gain mass adoption in exchange for capitulation to government oversight and regulation. It's crazy that
it seems that way, but I can guarantee you there are people working on that as we speak. So,
and that's one of the things, I mean, we've said for a long time too. A lot of professionals that come over to the sector want to mitigate their risk. They don't want to. They want to keep getting rich quick, but they don't want to spend anything or risk anything they made in their past life. So because of that, you have those people coming over, screaming and crying and praying government regulation comes so they won't have to face any of the risks people who are in right now are facing because you are, early innovators and all that. So, I mean, that's one of the things with regulations and mainstream adoption. The more people we get, the more scary people we get, the more people want to protect their upside and not have any risk involved. Honestly, just people who want to come in and buy their way into the same position in the crypto that they have basically with USD. So exactly. With that, you see government regulators because they can't naturally do it. So they're trying to get the help of government and military and police to do that for them. So unfortunate, but we see it a lot. All right, last but not least, great news story. Binance's swipe-powered crypto debit card debuts in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
What? Binance is swiping out here? What's going on here?
Oh, yeah. So, for those of you who are in the European Economic Area, also known as the EEA, those users will be able to apply for a Binance card starting in August. The UK will follow in the near future, and users in other regions are invited to register their interest via the Binance card website. As they said before, Swipe is currently available in 31 countries in the EEA. So if you're in France, if you're in Germany, if you're in Spain, that's fine for you to use. Of course, not available in the US.
Everywhere where freedom's at.
Everywhere where freedom is. Of course, not the US. And on this card, which you will find, they have 4 different cryptos, including Bitcoin. They have their own, of course, native token, SXP. That's a weird name to put. Binance Coin and Binance USD.
Gotta be greedy, huh? Just can't make a good product and sit it there.
You gotta put your own token on it. Jesus Christ. So you can convert the cryptos to fiat and vice versa. And supposedly you can shop with over 60 million merchants across 200 regions. So this is the first step towards that crypto adoption that we're seeing with debit cards. Only because it's a good bridge. Mm-hmm. People recognize cards. They can understand it more. At a certain point, I think it'll be touchless payments all around. It'll be a small device. Nobody's carrying around all those cards in a few years, but this is a good bridge to there. And shout out to Binance. They never stop working.
This is going to be an interesting use case, I guess, to look at that's going to set precedent. I wonder if this is going to work out for Binance. And I say that because from the infrastructure side, from the team, I can see it working perfectly right organizationally. They know what they're doing, scaling. But from Big Brother side of things, Binance is a very big company. As stated, of course, this would not be happening in the United States. But if this does happen in the EEA or in Europe in general, and it takes off, then it will probably spread to the U.S. or at least Binance will have the blueprint to spread it to the U.S. And I say all that because if the U.S. also sees all of that happening, I can see them putting a stop to this. I can see them saying we don't want a Binance card throughout Europe because that is direct competition with the American dollar by allowing people to access crypto easier. And if that happens in the U.S., then we're in some trouble, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see next month or two, 3 months, next quarter or two, if Binance actually unrolls this like they say they do. Do people start using it? What are the reviews? Like, I want to hear the talk of the town. I don't think it's going to happen, honestly.
True.
I think if they do get it off, it'll only be because it's COVID right now and the U.S. isn't paying attention. But I think later on this year, when we have time for it, we're going to be like, whoa, Binance got a what card with crypto? I just don't see the U.S. letting this one slide based off of things that's been happening. But again, I hope it works. I can't wait to see. I think it'll be really cool if you do start hearing people, you go on your summer trip to Europe and people got the Binance card swiping everywhere. But that would give power to crypto, the one thing governments aren't trying to do. So again, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, the currency wars have definitely started.
Exactly, you know what I mean? It's happening.
Like I said, crypto people didn't start it, but at some point we got to end it because we're way more innovative. So all this, with debit cards is fine, but I think it's just a means to end. Where eventually we have something else.
This is just another battle. I mean, the battle of should crypto be on debit cards, right? Again, like you said, the war is over. It will be on debit cards. It's gonna be everywhere, right? But right now we just have to see how it plays out. But it's definitely gonna be interesting to see. I mean, you saw the United States get pissed off at TikTok just for data collection. You think they're gonna like Binance with debit cards? I just don't see them being okay with it.
Yeah, not at all. Especially if they can't have oversight. So.
Right. And I would say, hey, Champagne Zhao CZ, look, he's a fighter. I give it to him. But they all crack. All right, listen. They all get in that room. Pavel was doing a great job. He got in that room, them boys. Hey, Telegram all of a sudden, look. we got to share these passwords, y'all. So it'll be interesting to see again. But I hope it works out for them. I can't wait to see what happens with the debit card for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shout out to Kareem Austin. Thank you for the tip. Much appreciated, Kareem.
Thank you.
Sergeant Crypto. Exactly. We haven't used that word in a while. I got to bring that back to Ned Flanders.
Yeah.
Ned Flanders want Uncle Sam to save them with fake regulations. That's right. The Ned Flanders who enter crypto, they're the ones who's calling the regulations. A. Kent was laughing, said the bull market is back. LMAO. Ramo Jones, long time no see. XMBWX USA card. Tenio, what's going on? Here we go. Yes, a tap on the shoulder is real.
Yeah, crypto debit card.
Oh, okay. That's another crypto debit card?
I believe so.
Cool. Yes. Again, there's a lot more stuff rolling out, people, and it's all types of smaller ones, too. The smaller projects, that's the thing that sucks about them. It could be a good small startup project by a good team, 2 or 3 people who are actually interested on Bitcoin Forum, making themselves available if they can. But because they don't have the funding or the PR, you just don't hear about them. So I'm sure it's probably another 5 or 10 cars out there. People are at least trying to do it before that big hurdle comes where governments are like, oh, well, yeah, you need to have at least $100 million in the bank before you can have a crypto debit card. So we'll see what happens.
True.
Nodalin Max, what's going on? Hello. Other than that, that's the show for the day. Make sure you guys check out that interview we posted yesterday where we interviewed 2020 presidential candidate, none other than Bitcoin gazillionaire Brock Pierce. It was a pretty good interview. We got to hear some of his insight about how he views the American government and what he plans to do once he wins the presidential election this year. You got anything else, Bitcoin, Zay?
Nothing else for me. Make sure you check out the interview, and we'll be back tomorrow.
All right. And last but not least, yes, A. Kent, I'm glad you brought it up. He's still talking about the debit cards. He said, I wonder if someone from the U.S. has even acquired one of these cards in those countries and still be able to use it in the U.S. I know at one time was 10X was potentially offering this. Exactly. That 10X card, I don't think it really got off the ground.
That one or Monarch.
And what sucks about it were, to their claims, they were like literally 2 minutes about to be off the ground, and then things started happening. So I don't know if that was real or just like part of the exit scam strategy where it's like, because the whole thing came out, it was Dr. Hopkins or something, where he may or may not have been as legitimate as he says. I don't know. But it was the whole thing where as soon as they started supposed to be mailing and shipping the cars, it was this big pushback. So my thing was like, well, did you really even have them? Or Was the pushback real? Either way, it was supposed to be a big debit card plan to go through Europe that didn't work. And that's kind of like what I was basing my thoughts on when we see Binance's. But hey, more money, more friends. We'll see what happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, other than that, as we said, that's the show for today. Thanks for the support. Make sure you smash that like and share. And we'll see you tomorrow with some more crypto news.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers.